On this day in Seventh Day Adventist history, January 16th, 1900, Sarepta Miranda Irish Henry was a prominent figure in the leadership of the Women's Temperance Union. She was a strong Christian leader, an eloquent and a prolific writer, and a reformed activist. Now, the Women's Christian Temperance Union emerged out of the renewal of the women's activism in the early 1870s, rapidly becoming one of the nation's leading organizations advocating prohibition and a wide range of related social reforms. One of the reforms of the Women's Christian Temperance Union had on their agenda were the Sunday rest laws. This made Adventist involvement with them almost impossible. Incapacitated by heart ailment after nearly 20 hectic years of labor and travel as a national evangelist for the organization, Mrs. Henry entered the Battle Creek Sanitarium in 1896, gradually drawn to Adventism during her stay there. One day when the sanitarium chaplain visited her, she asked to be anointed. "We are all Christians. Why shouldn't I be healed? Why can't I be anointed as it says in James 5:14? If any are sick among you, let him call on the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord." Now, Anna Knight, in her autobiography, Mississippi Girl, remembers Mrs. Henry. She remembers that when she went down to the chapel for that anointing service, she was being wheeled. The anointing service was held by A.T. Jones and W.W. Prescott. But after the anointing, she walked back to her room. She was restored not only to her health, but also to her role as a reformer. Now, with Mrs. Henry's involvement, the WCTU's position on the Sunday laws moderated. It was a compromise well short of the Adventist ideal, but it did constitute a meaningful advance in the direction of tolerance. Mrs. Henry put her expertise and experience in action to mobilize Adventist women for the work of the gospel ministry. She began building a network of action and mutual support, linked by the Women's Gospel Work Department in the Review and the Herald, before her work was suddenly cut short by her death of pneumonia. On this day, January 16, 1900, Sarepta Miranda Irish Henry died.